Players get knocked unconscious all the time. This ain't that video. This is about the monsters that slay you, that end your career as a player. Now you gotta go roll a new one. It sucks. But I'm gonna give you the knowledge of the most deadliest monsters that you will most likely encounter if the DM is doing the monster correctly and not fudging the rolls. You're in trouble. Let's go over the list. Halloween is just passed, and I'm sure many people have encountered the Scarecrow for the first time. It's not about the multi attack or even the swarm of scarecrows that'll probably come after you. It is the glare attack they have. A lot of players don't know what to do about a glare attack, and a lot of DMs do it the wrong way. If you cover your eyes or don't look, you get the blind condition, which means I get advantage attacking you. But if you meet the glare, the gaze of this scarecrow, well, guess what? You are going to be paralyzed if you fail. If you are paralyzed in D&D, you are about to have an extremely bad day, because that means the 2 attacks that it does get is going to be a critical hit both times. Man, I have seen this literally wipe tables. It's a CR1 monster, but it does ruthlessly terrible damage. I love it. I think big nasty bugs are almost always everyone's most hated thing in D&D. Having all these giant slimy big-eyed things crawling around on the ceiling, and you don't get to find them or see them because your perception check sucks, and then they just fall on you. Well, I have something very special for you. It has a 10-foot reach. It can make you poisoned, and if you also fail this check, you're not just poisoned, you're now paralyzed. It has multi-attack. This thing is the carrion crawler. They hunt in packs, they're extremely nasty, and it's just a snowball of just bad stuff. They just drop down, or with that reach, they hit a few people. Maybe they get to the back line with the little squishy wizards. I know we come after you as a DM, but hey, you have the most firepower most of the time. This just spells disaster for everybody on the board, except for the DM. You think goblins and bugbears, oh my, are so bad? No, they're not. Any adventuring party that has to have a quest to go clear a kobold den, hovel, or whatever they're called, they're not going to make it. If the DM runs this group of monsters correctly, most likely you're not coming back from this adventure. Kobolds are extremely deadly simply because they're tactical, they're smart. They even have flying spellcasters. Nothing is worse than a freaking flying kobold shooting fireballs at you. Then you have these pack tactic hit run bys with poison arrows or weapons just hitting and running your party. Kobolds are so versatile for the DM because they can do anything. Wield magic weapons, they have all the spellcasters, they have priests, they have tank units, they have skirmishing units, they can do the traps, they can do everything. And if you're not ready, you're about to have a bad day. You're going to lose your character. So make sure you go scout, get the research, whatever it is. If you hear the word kobold, take it upon yourself to do like a research mission or something like that, so you are ready. Because if you're not, you're probably going to lose the whole team. I'm going to paint you a picture that actually happened. You're roaming through a dungeon. You're looking for some extremely valuable loot, and you can hear enemies in the distance. You're just running down the corridors. You make a right. The DM tells you, make a con save. And you fail this save. You don't know what the number is, but I'm going to tell you it's by 5 or more. And the DM tells you, you drop to the ground with 0 hit points. This thing is called the Bodak, one of the most deadliest monsters I feel like in D&D, because people don't know what to do with gaze attacks, and it's hard to run simply because players are going to try to like, I don't look at it, but why do I have disadvantage? Well, I want to do that. Look, gaze attacks are extremely deadly in D&D. This monster has something even worse. As it approaches you, it has an aura of just damage that's going to happen to you. So the worst case scenario that has happened is you met the gaze, you fall to 0. I already had your roll initiative. You failed your save. That's 1 death save. Now the aura approaches you. You just lost 2 more death saves and your character is gone. You are slain. The Bodak is truly deadly on its own, but it's usually accompanied by minions. You want to be real nasty or you have a terrible DM, they might accompany it with shadows. But hey, now you know, don't look at it, keep your distance, and or you could just run. You can always run. Nobody ever runs. I love the Underdark. I like the setting. I like all the creatures that are there. I like the drow and the lore and all that other stuff. There's a CR2 monster here that truly outshines almost everything on this list. One, because it's a CR2 monster, but it is so creative. And to me, it's more like a trap monster. If you come across this, just run away. Don't fight it. But every time I've ran this, someone in the party has died because they try to save someone. You put this down on the board, you're going to have a bad time. Here we go. The Gibbering Mouther. Within 10 feet of it, there's a doe-like terrain. If you fail your save, your movement is 0. And it's already difficult terrain as is. The next thing is just hearing this thing within 20 feet and failing your save takes your reaction. But now you get to roll a D8 and a list of nothing but terrible things happens. Lose all your movement, waste your action. It's terrible. And you're just stuck there. You're stuck in the fleshy dough thing. Now it gets even worse. When it attacks you, it can knock you prone. It has multi-attack. And after the multi-attack and attack you get while you're prone, so now it has advantage. If it kills you, you are consumed and pulled into the random assortment of mouths and eyes, and you are devoured, revivifying, bringing nobody back. And it has a range attack that can blind you. This thing is bad to the bone. Everything on this list is terrible that it can do to you. Just avoid it unless you are trapped. I imagine most DMs are kind of using this like a gelatinous cube, but you can always run away. Movement speed is not high, just like the gelatinous cube is not high. A lot of people talk about the cube. I kind of want to put on this list, but everybody knows it. This thing is terrible and I love it. And I'm sorry for the players on my table who have encountered this and you didn't make it. You should have just ran. You always have the option to run. If you guys like the video, please like, subscribe, do all those things. If you want D&D assets or Pathfinder assets, that is on Patreon. It's on Etsy. You get a better bang for your buck on Patreon. I support myself and you support me. It's free. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day. And hopefully you don't meet the mouth, the gibbering, the flesh thing. Terrible. I can't emphasize enough. Just run, please run.